8:43, we're back. Travel tips coming our way, courtesy of Gabe Zaglier, senior editor over at Travel Zoo. Always good to see you. You know, it's hard to say people are going to jump out of BC during the summer season, but that's why you come on. You entice them with the deals. And before we get to the deals, let's get to some of the tips. Booking smarts. When is the best time to book to save that money?
Well, you know, generally the rule of thumb has always been Tuesday, Wednesdays when the airlines release their sales. Now we're throwing Sunday in the mix. Now we're starting to see more Sunday sales. But the fact of the matter is that if you're savvy on social media, sometimes these sales come out any day of the week. And sometimes they're 24 hours long, 48 hours long. Air France released a sale that's just 48 hours, just within the last hour, to their social media subscribers. So if you're savvy enough on social media, any day of the week can be a good deal week. But generally speaking, airlines like to use Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and now Sundays, it looks like, to release their latest sales.
And is there a certain time of day that the sales usually start when it comes to those specific
Usually,
days?
you know, if it's on a Tuesday morning, the consensus is you release those sales about early to mid-morning. Your competitors start to match them, and so you've got the height of the best sales and best availability right about lunchtime, middle of the day.
Okay, we'll look for that. Low-cost carriers, and we've talked a lot about carry-on luggage. This is an important thing to look out for if that ticket is seriously a steal of a deal.
Yeah, we all try to avoid these fees now, which are part of the game. This is the new normal now, the fees for pretty much everything, including not just the luggage we check, but the carry-on in some cases is going to cost you some money as well. Sometimes these very low-cost carriers attract us and lure us with these very low price points, but they tend to be the ones that will charge you for things like using the overhead bin space, are much more critical of the sizing of your luggage before you enter the cabin. So just because it's a low price point doesn't mean that the fees aren't going to add up at the end of the day. So before you buy your ticket, if it's an airline you're not familiar with, make sure you know exactly what kinds of fees await along the way.
And I know another tip you have is about saving dollars at theme parks, which we'll get to when we talk about the Go LA card. But let's start with the Orca adventure or whale watching adventure.
So this is great. You know, and I think this summer is going to be the summer of staying home because a lot of Canadians and BC residents that like to go into the U.S. because of the dollar situation are going to be staying home. Things like this thing, glamping, staycations are starting to see an upswing as well. So this is a great adventure on Vancouver Island, which it gets you 4 days and 3 nights of whale watching. You camp by Robson Blight Ecological Reserve. You get upscale safari tent accommodations, all your meals included, your kayaking. The price point $829 for the 4-day, 3-night adventure. You're traveling dates in July and September. You do get water taxi transportation out of Quadro Island or out of Campbell River, so getting there is a little bit easier. But this saves you about a third now on what is one of these great outdoor, nature-driven experiences there on the island. And again, I think a lot of BC residents are looking to stay within BC and enjoy some of the sort of in our own backyard adventures. This is a company called Wild Coast Adventures, and they do a great job.
Okay, so if we're going to get ambitious and jump down south, LA, always a hot spot. And you're saying there's a great way to save money if you want to check out many of the attractions.
So, you know, you go to Southern California, you go to LA or even San Diego, there's this thing now called the Go Card. And what you do is you buy it, you can buy it for a day, 3-day, 5-day, 7-day. You pick the length of your stay. But, you know, if you're going to be playing tourist for, say, 3 days, you're going to hit a place like this, Universal Studios, Hollywood. Getting in the door is about $90, $100. You're going to go to the Warner Brothers Studio Tour, which I did last year. Fantastic. You're literally hitting up some of these on-location filming sets. You're going to do the movie star tour through Malibu. You're going to do Madame Tussauds. You're going to do Griffith Park. This Go Card basically saves you 55% or more on the 30+ attractions throughout Los Angeles. So you buy it, and if you're going to be aggressive about playing tourists for those 3 days, again, you can do it for 5 or 7 days as well. It's a great way to go. $220 Canadian for adults, $190 for kids, and it really translates to some significant savings. They've got this card in San Diego as well, so you're going to go into San Diego and hitting up the zoo down there, or the SeaWorld, Legoland. Again, they have this card there as well, and as they do for cities throughout the United States.
Listen, we've only got about 20 seconds left, but you've also got a great deal of Mexico, and this one's great for a short trip.
You got an anniversary coming up. You got a honeymoon coming up. This is one of the most luxurious resorts, not only in Mexico, but in the world. The St. Regis Punta Mita, in that very luxurious spot just north of Puerto Vallarta. Rates usually $700 to $800 a night. This is a 3-night stay now for $945 US, which is $1160 Canadian. 3 nights, that's almost $1,000 off for travel July through October. You get breakfast with this deal. You get 2 cocktails a day. It is a higher price point, but for a special upscale 5-star kind of experience, unusually great deal. People within our company at TravelZoo are booking it themselves, which tells you it's a fantastic deal.
And that company, travelzoo.ca, to try and find those deals for the